I'll be ready in a sec. Just give me about 5 seconds.
Yo.
I'm good. Saying greetings from Cleveland after my nightmarish hell coming back here. If you were on the show last week, you'll know what I'm talking about. FY also just lastly, never, ever, ever take a train from either Cleveland to Chicago or vice versa, especially if you buy coach. Sleeping was so unfucking comfortable. Just buy a room. I don't care if it's 250, buy a room. You'll thank me later. Get your shit together, Amtrak. It's normally about like 7 hours. It was a 9 hour journey. We arrived 2 hours late. And I couldn't get a damn Uber for an hour because the entire city of Cleveland was snowed in. Yes. This is what happens when we live in the Midwest.
Yep. Yay.
Oh, please,
South.
I could do flip flops in the snow. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, God. What's today's T-shirt you got on? Okay, okay, cool. Nice. All in. Adam Cole and Evil Uno. Yes, they were. So like after the main event for Dynamite, everyone just got a little bit of a breather. They cleaned up. They got everything ready to make it look like Rampage, so we can time travel to Friday, and it was actually pretty cool. And it was good for everybody to get a little breather because before we had Rampage, it was after Dynamite was done, we had at least like one more like big main event match for AEW Dark, which the last time that I saw that was in Cleveland. It was between Best Friends and Sean Spears, who was looking for a partner, and he had Colin Delaney, which, holy crap, he was buffed. But it was Rampage was pretty fun. Like the crowd was actually like really energetic, still kind of distraught from what happened. Yeah. No, the crowd was still like a little bit hyped. Like obviously like we were just a little bit energy drained, but we were still able to kick in a few more matches to keep our energy up, and they did a great job. Minus the fact that a certain somebody didn't show up until after Rampage went off the air, but I'll get to that later. Oh, and also Adam Cole wants a shot at the AEW World Title, which we'll get to later. That match was okay.
What was it
pipe
like?
Shot.
What was it like being there for the first AEW DQ?
Confusing. Like your average day of Monday Night Raw.
There was technically one other one, but
I know. That's still like a DQ. It's like, okay, sure. I would have been okay if Mercedes Martinez won cleanly or dirty, whatever, but I don't know. I'm just like not heavily invested with this rivalry just yet.
We have so I cannot hear you. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I think I can hear everybody else. I have to go through my spiel again. Testing. Can
you hear me now, Verizon?
Can't hear the dude on the stream.
T-Mobile.
Okay, how about this? Can we hear me now? We're having some technical issues.
I could hear you. I
hear you.
Muted and checked.
My mic is on. I don't have a tablet to see how we're doing.
There we go. Okay. There must have been. We record a podcast, so the microphone was probably set to the microphone that's no longer plugged in. So, all right. Same thing again. Wrestling recap show. Met CJ Team All Zero. We avoid insider terms. Adam Cole, standard match. Sammy Guevara, standard match. All right, cool. Awesome. There we go. Now, see, I'm glad Mercedes Martinez didn't win because I can tell now. I thought they were going to hold off till Double or Nothing, but I don't think they are anymore. They're really going to have to pull the trigger on Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. I mean, you're just gonna.
I mean, Chicago would have been great to do that, but unfortunately,
But you also got to pay to see that. You feel me on that one?
Well, we could have had a setup at least.
I mean, they want
like Britt Baker comes through Chicago saying like how great Pittsburgh is, and Chicago is more crappier than Cleveland. Sad to say. Also the truth, though.
I mean, I'm not sure. But anyway, I don't know if I like the DQ finish, but they're telling a good story with that. It's a collision course, and it's a collision course pretty well almost a year in the making. So, and yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm not going to say I'm like, oh my God, that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. But, I guess it needed to be done. And finally, Jay Lethal versus Ricky Starks. Probably, other than the Cody match, Ricky Starks' best match in AEW. I will say that without hyperbole. That was a damn fine match.
It was awesome.
I don't know.
I'm not surprised.
I am.
Zero surprise from this girl, but it was a fantastic match.
Yeah, the ending was what really got me.
It could have been better if a certain somebody was sent, but sadly we didn't get that.
He didn't need it.
Yeah, he didn't need to be sent. He didn't need to be sent this time.
Know, but I just wanted to see him.
But you did.
Yeah, after the show. He just like came out because Tony Khan promised us that, but whatever. But obviously, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I really wanted to see Shane McMahon show up in Chicago, but well. Now, for real though,
There
like
was no money.
seeing Hook was still awesome. Like even though he just came out just doing his Hook things and then he just walked back, he literally looked like he was like he just got out of school and be like, "Yeah, I'm here. All right, now I'm gone." All right, it was just funny.
Tony
Oh,
Khan wouldn't let him be on the show because he didn't finish his homework.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Tony Khan like kept hyping it up like throughout like Dynamite Rampage, saying like, "And I'll promise you guys this: I will send him." He didn't even say who. He just said him. I will send him. So I was literally hoping there was going to be a Hook match for Rampage, but no, just a cameo appearance. Which whatever. But everyone was. I kid you not. Before Rampage even went on the air, when they had Taz come out for commentary, everybody was starting to chant, "We want Hook. We want Hook."
yeah. I mean, Hook's got if Hook. I mean, it's too early to pull a trigger on him being champion yet, but like it's gonna happen soon.
I would love to see him like after Sammy has his little rivalries with whoever wants to challenge him for the TNT title. For Double or Nothing, I would put Sammy and Hook.
Not some other people that we're going to talk about later.
Well, we'll get to them later.
Okay. All right.
Or at least
you have to
Hook
put
in
the
the
TNT
Face of
belt.
the Revolution ladder match, but we'll get to that.
I don't think you have to put the TNT belt on Hook yet. I think that you could probably get away with, like losing the FTW belt and Hook getting that for a while. Like it's
maybe
really early.
Maybe Hook turning on Team Taz be like,
no.
Okay, I'm backing out.
No.
Sorry.
You can't.
My fantasy booking is worse than my ADHD.
You just can't have him turn on like he's Taz's son, like, and and Hook is like the aura about him is he doesn't speak, so he's gonna need someone to speak for him.
Yeah, he needs to stay with his dad. Good.
Alex Marvez. Hook says,
No.
Da. I don't know.
But now it's time to light the fuse and bring the boom and talk AEW Dynamite. This opening with making Wardlow have to carry them to the ring, the stuff. I loved all of this, and then FTR doing the Queen of England wave and all that good stuff. I did point out on Twitter. I said MJF talking shit on Chicago just makes me like MJF. I said I'm wired differently. It's like how I felt sorry for Owen Hart and like Shawn Michaels in WrestleMania 10 when I was not supposed to. Like that's not how they wanted me to feel, but that's what happened.
I think this was on a Russell Talk review that I saw, but Ollie Davis pointed out that it would have been funnier if Wardlow was one of the people carrying the giant little walk thing for MJF.
I mean, I get what they're saying, but I feel like it is like, I get what they're saying, and I don't think it's a bad idea, but on the other side, it's like, maybe you're
funny.
Maybe you're splitting too many hairs.
Or at least him like leading the charge.
But then who would have brought out everybody else's proper announcement list?
Yeah. That's very true.
Wardlow had to do that. So he had to come out first with the things.
Maybe just run back and then direct his poster boy to come back in. I don't know. Or maybe, his accountability buddy could have been doing something.
Oh, he's too
busy.
busy.
Just walking out with a chair.
No,
he brought the liquor.
He brought the liquor. He brought the chair.
Nobody gives a shit about the liquor. You know what's even sad?
Hey, no, just because you don't like the liquor doesn't mean people don't care.
This would have been a lot funnier, actually, if they had a little bit of the bubbly. That honestly would have made me chuckle.
Would they? because MJF has such an ego, why would he want to buy Jericho's drink?
Yeah, plus he
I don't know.
hates Jericho.
That's kind of that's
Maybe he could have taped his face over Jericho's.
that would have been okay. That'd have been okay.
Yeah, exactly, because it's MJF. Of course he'd do it.
But they set up the tag match for later, so there could be a rematch at Revolution. Then Andrade El Idolo met with Sting and Darby Allin. Stink, as he calls him, and Darby Allin, Mr. Stink. I get that it's funny, but like I do feel weird. It's like at the end of the day, they are kind of making fun of the fact that Andrade doesn't speak English very well. Like I'm sure Andrade is okay with it, like, but still, I just kind of was like, they're making fun of. They're
not like he's been given a very horribly borderline racist accent because of his heritage. Certain nod to someone who had a Nigerian match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't think it's.
It could have been worse.
It could be worse, but I'm also just kind of like I laughed at it, and I'm like, wait a minute, do I need to feel bad because they are kind of it seems like they are kind of making fun of a guy who doesn't speak English well. But either or, Andrade wants the TNT Championship, and so does Darby Allin. So next we have the Blade versus Wardlow with his accountability buddy, Sean Spears. See, you know,
still not a thing, but go on.
No, it's a thing. They're together. See, they were together.
Not a thing.
How is it not a thing? How's it not a thing?
It's not a thing.
It's a thing.
There's no merchandise.
There doesn't need to be There doesn't need to be merchandise.
These two could be.
Chris Jericho had a GFY shirt. That doesn't make it a thing. That was not a thing.
Yeah, the thing is accountability, and that's what Wardlow is needing.
Had a shirt together.
You don't need merchandise when the number one aspect is holding people accountable. And since...
Well, unfortunately, I don't see accountability buddies trending on Twitter because apparently my personal opinion, it just seems like nobody really gives a shit.
No, people give a shit.
All
because Wardlow...
of this one quote saying, well, hey, here's your accountability buddy. Hey.
Yep, exactly.
That was funny for a while, but no.
Yep.
No.
But see, here's the thing. It's not about marketing. It's about being accountable.
Sean Spears already has an accountability buddy. His name is not Wardlow. It's his chair.
And since Sean Spears has been Wardlow's accountability buddy, Wardlow has not messed a whole lot of stuff up.
He has risen to the top.
Except losing to CM Punk.
That was MJF's fault.
Mm-hmm. Not his accountability buddy.
Maybe
Not his accountability buddy's fault.
Spears could have been more accountable to his little buddy.
That was when the boss man says change things up, you gotta listen to the boss man. But ever since then, Wardlow's just risen up. All joking aside, though, the reactions that Wardlow is getting are a far cry from when we went to All Out Fan Fest. Wardlow had nobody in his line. Everybody was cheering for Jurassic Express and Sheeta and all these people coming out, and then there's Wardlow just sitting down with his cup of coffee, where I had to kind of give a, yeah, Wardlow, and he kind of had an awkward, thank you, moment to me. And it's like, yeah.
He gave me a wink at C2E2 when I was there. I was trying to get MJF's attention. Obviously, him ignoring me and not just say, hey, what up, Wardlow? And he just nods at me, like, what up?
So it's just funny, that was just back in September that, I mean, I think that $50 is was asking quite a bit then for Wardlow, but with what they're going to do with Wardlow, $50 is a bargain at that price. It's going to be a bargain at that price. And I just find it funny that now everybody's waiting for that turn. Everybody's waiting to cheer Wardlow and see, what kind of see them strap the rocket ship to his back, and then just a few months back in September, when that even been 6 months ago or close to 6 months ago, he was almost the embodiment of the Virgil meme at that fan fest. So for everybody that thinks like that shit, like, oh, why isn't so and so being used? And I hear you, I feel you, but in 6 months, it's gone from no line to probably going to be, other than Punk and Hangman, maybe the number 3 good guy in the company. So, things change, just like Robin said in, he became Nightwing at that point. Said in the Old Wounds episode of Batman the Animated Series, things change. So there was that. Then we had the Inner Circle team meeting. Good segment, but I can really feel that like Jericho's trying too hard, trying to get new sayings over, and it's kind of lame in my opinion.
He's trying to be the cool hip dad, keeping up with the trends.
Bless you, kids. You keep me young.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like, okay, he had GFY, and then now I think it's like attendance mandatory. Now. So,
and probably I think he trademarked the influencer. I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus.
He did.
Yeah.
He is the trademarker.
Yeah.
Could have been worse. He could have been called the TikTok taker.
I mean,
which I swear to God, if he does that, you can blame me.
But I do like, Sammy leaving the Inner Circle, like the Inner Circle's implosion again, but like I think now a little bit more permanently. Like he left it last time as kind of like a means to an end to eventually rejoin. Sammy leaving this time I think is permanent, which I think is a good thing because Sammy's doing his own thing with Fuego and all the people on his vlog, and it's time. It's time for the Inner Circle to break up.
Sammy doesn't need the rub anymore.
No.
The whole purpose of him being in the Inner Circle was to kind of introduce him, like, hey, yeah, he's with Jericho, like he's cool, he's okay, you should like him, please like him, and like he got over. He is over. I would contend him for the 3rd top babyface spot, honestly.
Potentially, yes.
He's up there.
Yeah, definitely, and he might be number 3 like now. Honestly, I'm just saying I don't know what's gonna happen with Wardlow. There's Darby too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a solid pillar of the company now. He doesn't need the Inner Circle, and this whole team meeting thing he didn't need to be a part of it. He wasn't an issue in the reason that they needed the meeting, and it just kind of like brought him down and didn't make much sense. But what he did with it did make sense.
Right. My heart did break a little when Jericho told him to shut up. It was like, no.
Yep.
He was your number 1 fan.
And you know what I like the most? Jericho's going to be the bad guy in this. Not Proud and Powerful. Hopefully. Don't make Jericho and Jake Hager are much more unlikable in this whole situation than Proud and Powerful. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the LAX reunion. It's going to happen.
Maybe.
Come on, you bring in Homicide as your manager, bring Eddie Kingston, bring Diamante, I hope I pronounced it right.
Diamante, yep.
And boom, Diamante, yes. And you have LAX on AEW.
But I don't think Homicide needs to be a manager.
I
he started the whole thing, and again, they were my favorite tag team in TNA.
Proud and Powerful do not need a manager. They do not need a mouthpiece. They showed that in this segment.
Sure, if you give Eddie Kingston a mic, he'll say anything.
Well, Eddie doesn't need anybody to be with him either, honestly. Like, they make a good
trio. He's the one that provoked this, though.
But I'm saying, like, on the microphone, all 3 of them can hold their own with anyone in that company. None of the 3 of them need a mouthpiece. So I mean, AEW likes to make these factions and have managers, and that's all well and good, especially for people like Andrade or Jade that's still new to this. Like, that's fine. But don't do it because you do it. Do it because it makes sense and it's necessary. Don't do this unnecessarily. Do not have somebody speaking for Santana because he very clearly can speak for himself. And he gets over when he does. Ortiz is the exact same way. He's very quiet. He doesn't do a whole lot, but when he picks up that microphone and he speaks, you will listen.
Yep.
It's unnecessary. Just let him be.
Let it be. It's a song. But yeah, I agree. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't mind LAX being a faction in AEW, but on the flip side of things, I kind of just want to see Proud and Powerful on their own. I really just kind of want to see maybe Eddie. Maybe put them with Eddie.
I can appreciate AEW like going back and acknowledging like the past in other companies and taking it all in as canon. But we don't have to have rehashes of everything that's happened in other companies just on AEW. We don't have to have Bullet Club like it was in Japan, and we don't have to have LAX. We don't have to have rehashes of ROH stuff. That's been done, and you can acknowledge it and be cool with it, but do something new.
Speaking of things that maybe aren't exactly new, Roppongi Vice is going to wrestle the Young Bucks on Rampage this Friday. The Bucks and Adam Cole ambush them, and then Jay White.
Yes.
Jay White debuted and walked through the forbidden door. And okie dokie then, I asked this question. I'm going to go in with an open mind. And I'm going to ask this question, and unless I get an answer that actually intrigues me, I'm going to probably shut all the answers down. Why is Jay White God? What do all you people see in this guy? Why is he held in such reverence to the wrestling business? What is it? Like, there are people that I don't connect with in wrestling, that I understand. This is why people like them. I don't connect with Bret Hart, but I see why he has a huge fan base. I don't connect with CM Punk. I see why he's got a huge fan base. I don't connect with Will Ospreay. I get why people enjoy Will Ospreay. What is Jay White? What is he? Why is he like God and state of pro wrestling? Why is it when you go, I don't like Jay White, they act like you just fucking said that you killed a puppy?
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far as to calling him like a wrestling god. Like, no, far from it. I liked him even before he joined the Bullet Club. I just thought, like, okay, he looks pretty dope, pretty badass, and when we saw him fight at G1 Supercard against Okada, like, again, low-key, I wish the result would have been different. But I just like Jay White. And honestly, I think he kind of feeds off that unlikable personality that others see in him. Be like, well, I'm going to prove you guys wrong. And it's exactly what he did. He was IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
Okay, but
for a while.
Okay,
he became the leader of Bullet Club.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Trying to make a name for him.
Okay, that's great. But why am I supposed to like him for that? Stevie Ray was the leader of the NW.
I don't think he wanted.
Well, why am I supposed to think this guy's good? What the fuck is it? What does he do? What is he doing that I have not seen already done by somebody else who's probably done it better? Like, okay, he led Bullet Club. Great, Stevie Ray led the NWO. He led Bullet Club during the Bullet Club's probably lowest time. Okay, I mean, if you like that, that's cool. But like for me, I don't get why I'm supposed to fall in line with this Jay White so wonderful. He was the IWGP champion. Great, that was a booking blunder. That was not a good fucking booking call. Like, you don't want to put Tanahashi and Okada at Madison Square Garden, your biggest international show, the rivalry that has carried your company. You're gonna omit having Rock and Austin for fucking Austin versus like fucking the Big Show. That's essentially what you did. So like, okay, if you connect with Jay White, cool, but like, everything I'm hearing, he led Bullet Club. Okay, I've seen 3 better leaders of Bullet Club. He won the IWGP title. I've seen a lot better people win the IWGP title. He plays an old school heel. Bad guy, excuse me, I broke my own rule. I'm seeing MJF do that way better than Jay White ever did. He's got this dark aura, and it's like, see now Darby Allin. So stip stop stip, I don't get it. Like I don't understand. And I don't understand like I don't like Will Ospreay. And I know I'm going to take a shitstorm when I put on there, I did not really care for this Will Ospreay match because he's just not my favorite. But I kind of get like, okay, he wrestles a style that I don't like, but a lot of people like it. So, cool. I don't like him, and I think he's kind of a douchebag IRL, but cool. CM Punk. People have those memories, and some people, I personally kind of got over when he left, but a lot of people didn't. So now they're excited again, and like, okay, cool. I get CM Punk. I don't get it. I don't get him. I don't get why everybody loves about him. I don't get why all the reasons that they fucking love Jay White, yet when you go, I thought Seth Rollins go like, do you not understand good wrestling? Seth Rollins sucks. I like Cody Rhodes. Do you not understand that he's bad? But yet there's Jay White who's like on this plane, and I'm like, he doesn't even do it as well as those two guys. I don't get it. I have tried. I have tried not to be a player hater. And I threw the question out there. I've yet to hear a response that's actually made me change any sort of mind. To me, Jay White is like, well, we're in the Midwest and he's mama mid. And if he was considered, hey, cool hand, cool little, middle of the card bad guy there. Okay, I wouldn't hold this sort of fuck him sort of mentality. Maybe he's a nice guy. I don't know. I don't have any issue with him personally. But I don't fucking get it. I don't fucking get why this guy's on such a plane. I don't.
I mean, I would say something, but it would just go back to, but why? Like, same reason why people still think John Cena should be the poster boy for WWE. The same reason why people think Roman Reigns, he is the greatest wrestler. He should be the one that's PWI's number one of the 500. Like this, I just like Jay White's.
Yeah, okay. I mean, like, if you just like him, but like to me, it's like this reverence. Like, oh my god, this bitch coming! It's like, okay, like that's what you. Of all the New Japan people, you want in AEW, you want Jay White. Like,
I want Okada as well.
Let's say
and we got Suzuki. We got our wish, although they kind of butchered that in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah.
The whole other story.
Yeah, they butchered the fuck out of that shit. Like I don't.
I'm just gonna.
There's gonna be certain things.
I'm gonna be a very, very happy easy when I hear his theme play on AEW, and I'll be like, yes. I don't know. Sorry, that was a bad interpretation of his
Someone better than John Cena needs to be the poster boy for WWE. Well, I mean, that's another discussion. We really, after the debacle that was the Royal Rumble, don't really talk about WWE much here anymore. But I just
you got something to say? Because I'm finished with me.
For just the final word on the knife pivot, as he's known in some circles. I don't think I would have this resentment if he just wasn't like I don't get why he's held in such a high standard. I don't get what he's held in such a high standard, and I don't get what makes him better than anyone AEW already has. I don't get what makes him better than anybody, because he was starting to really get a buzz in 2018, 2019. I don't see him being any better than anybody that NXT had that time. I didn't think he was any better than Cole or Gargano or Ciampa.
Near rumor he was going to go to NXT, which like, oh god, that would have been interesting.
I mean, I don't understand. And I'm probably never going to. And if Jay White's going to be a permanent part of AEW, well, I'm very. First of all, I'm going to say this. I'm very relieved because I will always have a designated time to be relieved during the show. Because there are sometimes sitting in that chair in that building or sitting in that chair, at home, and you're really holding your bladder. And when I hear that Jay White music hit, I know that I have at least 3 minutes to take care of any nature needs that I may have. So we are good to go.
Oh my god. CJ, do you have anything to add?
Oh no, I'm staying all the way out of this one.
Oh wow. I get all the verbal abuse here. Okay.
Oh no, don't worry. Because I feel like there's going to be a rehash of a very heated debate that happened this week.
Oh, there will be.
Yeah. Don't worry. You take this one, I'll take the next hit for the team, buddy.
But in probably the most how I feel about Jay White moment of like, this couldn't be planned any better. Oh my god, there's Jay White. And then here comes Isaiah Cassidy, and he's going to wrestle the big new signing. And it's Keith Lee. So it's like the epitome of how I feel about Jay White. Oh my god, we must like him. Okay. Oh my god, Keith Lee's right there. Yes, that's awesome. Like, this is great. Keith Lee looked awesome. Crowd was into it. He's happy. He's fired up. Yeah.
You didn't bring a Bearcat though. I'm sad about that. No, I'm not. Bearcat Lee was the dumbest thing
crap.
possible.
Here we go.
But like, no, fucking full steam ahead on Keith Lee.
Wasn't in a skirt.
Yeah.
He looked honestly happy.
Oh, he did.
Like, he seriously looked happy.
I mean, he did just get married. There's that too.
There is that too. Yes.
What the fuck is Mia Yim coming? Like, come on, please.
That's what I said. I'm like, all right, well now
you got to bring in some retribution to the women's division, right? Am I right?
We were there. We were on the same level, and then he went with the retribution.
But
I loved how he launched Isaiah Cassidy. I'm like, what the hell did he just do?
But here's the question. I had this debate with someone, and they said, like, Keith Lee should be TNT champion by the end of the year. And I said, which begs the question, should Keith Lee win the TNT title, or should they as I put it, Roddy Piper him, where rather than giving him a belt, they just let him feud with all the top people?
I would say feud with the top people for the duration of 2022, and then 2023, you give them a world title match with somebody.
Yeah, or maybe by the end of 2020, by Full Gear 2023, Revolution 2024. But like, Roddy Piper never, he didn't go off and go for the Intercontinental title. He just spent his time wrestling Snuka and Hogan and, Orndorff and what have you. And then it's like, okay, so what meant more to Roddy Piper, being able to wrestle all those top names, or, get some mainstream publicity feuding with Mr. T, or would it have been better for him to have beaten Tito Santana for the Intercontinental title? Probably the way they did Roddy Piper was better, and I feel like that's something they could do with Keith Lee. Not that I'd be against a good TNT title feud for Keith Lee. I just would rather them take this approach.
My reaction, though, like I posted on Twitter, was like, somewhere in the locker room, Adam Cole just got PTSD that Keith Lee has arrived. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm also saying maybe he went to AEW because his manager's there.
Oh, that is true. I don't know.
But
shout out to Todd for that one.
Ironically, they're both now in AEW, but Keith Lee is the one with the haircut.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Wait, what's gonna happen first? Adam Cole is Keith Lee's manager or Budge?
I don't have Budge. Budge.
Okay.
I don't have Budge.
I understand that we're not on the whole train of watching BTE weekly anymore, but if you get a chance, they did have a Budge segment on this week, and it was pretty funny.
I don't know. I think I just get caught up with so many other things that I just don't have time for BTE anymore.
It's
Jump the Shark and not as charming.
In my it's still on my subscriptions list. And my YouTube is highly confused at this point.
I haven't seen the episode when they're in Cleveland and when they're in Chicago. Like,
the last one we watched was after All Out. That's the last one I watched, and then even then I didn't watch it for months. There's just some moment with BT where I just go
was when CM Punk debuted.
I didn't even watch that one for obvious reasons. But no, I just there was some point in time where it's this is I'm not entertained by this anymore. If people still like it, that's cool. It's not a hill to die on, fuck BTE or anything, but it's just I'm not really entertained by this anymore.
Well, I also did like the audience. They were just all chanting, "Oh, bask in his glory." It's hey, we're going all British on this.
Yeah, they chanted that before at the forum, but still.
That's a Keith Lee thing. But yeah, it is very British.
Okay.
So now it's time for what got me told I don't like AEW on Twitter. FTR versus CM Punk and mystery partner Jon Moxley. First of all, I want to say it was a good match. There were some miscues, but it was a good match. But I did not like the call here because this is one of my least favorite tropes in all of wrestling. The established tag team that's a top tag team in their division is good, but they cannot compete with the combined might of two main eventers, even though those two main eventers never once tag teamed together ever in their lives. I hate that trope in wrestling. I do not like that. I feel like there should be oh wow, these guys are such a great team, and these other guys aren't a team, so they have an advantage. I just don't like that trope in wrestling. I do not like that.
I was still hoping for Danhausen.
The point would remain with Danhausen. I would be having the same point. The other thing that I'm thinking is FTR really should not re-sign with AEW. Now, for the record, I know that FTR and how they are used in AEW is a lot better than how FTR, the Revival, was used on the main roster in WWE. However, the way they've been used in AEW is not as good as how they were used in NXT. I get it. You gotta have people to play gatekeeper. That's fine. I understand the logic. But in my opinion, once FTR's contract is up, maybe, they're old school wrestlers. Maybe let them bounce to GCW, Ring of Honor, and the NWA. Maybe let them do what Cardona's doing, only as a tag team. I feel that would be better for FTR to leave AEW. If they're not going to get another tag title run, and they're not going to, get back up with face the Young Bucks again, if they got brought in to just put people over, that's fine. That needs to happen. They're in the Jake the Snake role. They're in the Tommy Dreamer role. That's fine. But also, if they go, we want to check out some different pastures, that's understandable. And I completely understand why they would maybe not want to re-sign. I know. How dare I think that someone maybe wouldn't want to stay in AEW? I know that, and how dare I not like everything AEW does? I know I'm a bad fan. I hate AEW. I guess that's the case. But that's what I just feel like they could be better utilized elsewhere, rather than be the fourth tag team that gets other people ready for everybody else. They could be the tag team champions in 3 different promotions right now, or later and help keep the momentum going in GCW, help bring ROH and NWA back up. I don't know. I feel like there's a reference going to be lost on a lot of you. Much like Simon Pagenaud feeling it's time to leave Penske, I feel like that might be a good call for FTR to leave AEW once their contract's up. I don't know. Thoughts?
I could really see FTR also thrive, like going to New Japan, honestly. So, they're
the tag division in New Japan leaves a lot to be desired. They could be the top tag team, but I don't know if they would have as many. I don't know if they'd have as many people to work with compared to ROH or Impact or GCW or the NWA.
Like part-time with AEW, and then you just see them go into other local promotions.
I wouldn't say part-time with AEW. I'd say they need to just not like go away and never come back, but like go away from AEW. Go do something else for a little while. Back in the territory days, like, here's a for instance. The Fabulous Freebirds were big in World Class, but once they'd kind of ran their course, they'd go to AWA. They would go to Jim Crockett Promotions. They would go to Mid-South. They would go to... They even had a small run in the WWF. Do something like that. And then after they kind of bounced around, then the Freebirds would go back to Dallas for World Class and, pick up with some fresh eyes and, that's what I feel like FTR needs to do once their contract. Don't go to AEW. Go away from AEW for a year or two. Go to NWA. Go to New Japan. Go to GCW. Go to Ring of Honor. Go to Impact. Do the independent tour. And then after they do that, then, create a buzz again, then head back to AEW if AEW would want to have them back. I feel like, don't burn a bridge. But, again, only Easy will get this reference, but Simon Pagenaud did, have a lot of success at Team Penske, but eventually he's like, okay, I'm the fourth wheel here. I could go to a different race team and be one of the most important drivers on the team.
He practically will be this season.
Yeah. That could be that sort of logic I could see going with FTR. I understand not everybody can win all the time, but FTR have just been the gatekeepers, and I feel like they're a little bit better than that. And especially I think they're better than a top tag team losing to two main event guys because, well, they're the main event guys, and you gotta lose. Like, I hate when WWE does that shit. Oh, hey, here's an established tag team, and here's John Cena and Batista to beat the shit out of them. Okay. Oh, hey, here's even going so far like Ray at RKO losing to Shawn and Cena. Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler, but like, did you really need to fuck up a good tag team that was an established tag team with just two singles guys for reasons? No. It's something I don't like in wrestling. It's something I really don't like when WWE does it. And excuse me for not liking it when AEW does it just because, well, AEW did it. You should like it, right? Like, but it's AEW, but it's Moxley, but it's Punk.
But it is Slam Punk.
Okay.
It is two guys that don't lose.
This is my philosophy on it. Okay. Protect your top tag teams in tag matches the way you would protect your top single stars in singles matches.
But why you're just assuming that they're the top tag team.
I said they're a top tag team.
But they're not a very top tag team. They're not even in the top 5.
Yeah, I guess there you go. So then that has more reason as to why they need to probably leave when they're done.
So, do you want it to be like WWE where we see the rehash of the same tag teams over and over and over for the same belt?
No, but I would feel. First of all, I think there needs to be more just mid-card tag feuds. Like we have said, and then they're getting better. But I do know 2021 was a real down year for the tag division. I feel like I know Nick's not on the call, but Nick brought that up. CJ feels that way. I feel this way. I don't might disagree with EZ, but I know 3 of us that normally talk wrestling felt that was a down year. Do I want to see the same tag teams? No, but I also think that there's more that could be done other than they just put over people. There's more than what can be done with FTR. And here's my thing, and here's another thing. I feel like there could have been more story out of this with Jon Moxley taking the fall. Doesn't have to lose cleanly, but last week we had Bryan Danielson say, we need to form a team. So Jon Moxley takes the fall. Bryan Danielson goes, this is why we need to be together, man. I trust you. We can be a better team. We can be, we're not just going to be dead, I'm not just going to call upon you for a one-night favor. Like, we could be a team. We could have beat FTR. Okay, so there's one story that could be continued with that. Then Punk's still trying to find his rematch.
You could have Punk get his rematch.
I say handicap match next week where was a miscue between Wardlow and his accountability buddy. And that adds more intrigue to not only CM Punk, but also more intrigue to Wardlow's eventual turn with that miscue. The turn will probably happen at Revolution. So you could have continued 2 stories for the price of 1 had FTR won.
I'm not upset about FTR losing in this. I don't think that they are getting buried in this. I don't think that they've lost anything. They were not a top 5 tag team before this match. They were not like, this didn't cost them shots at the tag belts again. Yes, they go on TV and they lose quite often, but here's the trick to that. They're on TV. They're not being lost in the shuffle. They're not being ignored. They are heavily featured as a tag team, and they are pushed as top guys. I don't think that they've lost anything with the audience. I think that they're still just as over with the people that they were over with. And if they haven't gained the momentum that they thought they would, then maybe that's not so much on the booking. Maybe that's more on them, because as we look at them and the matches that they have, there's often times where you and I both agree that wasn't as good of a match as we thought that they would have.
I've only thought that they've had a bad match with one team, and that's because that one team knows one style and they did not adjust. That's the only time where I'm like, oh God, that was bad. And that was because the Lucha Bros know Lucha style, and unless you're the Young Bucks or unless you're Jurassic Express that also can wrestle the Lucha style, you're not going to jive well.
Which also reminds me that we forgot to talk about, we're probably going to see Dark Penta again, but that's a whole sidebar.
Yeah.
I feel like we've had that conversation before about FTR, but I can't think of specifics right now, so I'll go with it. I don't think that it's a big mass, like, I can't believe they did this. Could they have done it the other way? Yes. Do I see why they didn't want Jon Moxley to lose either? Yes. I didn't expect it to go another way. I kind of expected CM Punk to have to do this before he got the first match with MJF. So maybe that's why I'm just very not surprised by this whole thing. If FTR wants to leave AEW and go to the NWA, then happy to have them in the NWA. They'll be a great fit. They'll be a really good tag team there, and they'll wrestle people that have the same kind of style that they do. I don't think that they're going to come out of this and say, like, AEW is not the land of milk and honey that everybody says it is. Like, it didn't happen the way we expected it to happen, and I think that that's okay. There's a lot of other things in AEW that I could pick out more that bother me.
I just think it would be in their best end. They've reached their ceiling. Like, they're on TV every week, but they're like not. again, they're old school guys. Okay, hey, I'm not going to get above a certain place. Maybe I need to go away and come back. And I think that would be in FTR's best interest to go away and come back when it's time. To go be top guys. Go be top guys in 4 different promotions potentially. Go do the feud with the Briscoes. Go be Ring of Honor tag champions. Go be GCW tag champions. Go imagine the old school Southern wrestlers of FTR and GCW. That's money. That is some fucking money right there in their tag division.
We're gonna see them as ROH tag team champions before it's all said and done.
See, have them go to Impact. Keep doing stuff at Impact. Easy mentioned New Japan. That I don't think that New Japan's tag talent is on FTR's level, but still, that'd be a good place to go. Go be top guys. Go collect belts, and then come back and be like, come back once you've established a new. I'm not necessarily saying the Bucks, but a lot of great tag teams out there. Imagine in fucking the Dark Order, it's Reynolds and Silver finally win the tag titles, and huzzah! And there's FTR to challenge them, and we're back, and we won our belts back. I just think they don't need to be there. I feel like they've hit their ceiling, and sometimes the wrestling landscape is finally in a position where a person can do that again, or people in this case. For the longest time there was 1, 2, maybe 2 companies to go make money, to go make a living, to go to and be featured, and people couldn't do that like they could back in the 80s. Now there's choices. And there's lots of them. And I think this is one group that could benefit from exercising the choice rather than just stay in AEW. I don't know. Easy, what do you think?
I'm kind of indifferent. With just tag teams come and go. FTR goes, they go. We'll have more people kind of come in and make their name, and it'll just be a revolving door. Just be the ones who stay and who get their championships, or just at least get their full marks out there. And it was fun, seeing FTR winning the tag team titles and getting that dream match with the Young Bucks. It's just too bad we didn't get as big of a crowd as we originally wanted, because thank you, COVID.
I do feel like I don't know how much time's left on there.
We'll get one last hurrah at least, with the Bucks once they're good guys or something. But we'll get that with the full crowd.
I do feel like if they lose twice to the Bucks, that's kind of that's gonna rub me the wrong way a little bit.
I'm gonna say FTR gets the win this time,
unless they're on their way out. But yeah, they're just kind of. There's some theories out there, and I don't want to believe the theories, but a broken clock can be right twice a day, and there's some stuff that makes sense to a theory that maybe FTR was brought in just so they could lose to the Bucks and then get put on the back burner. I'm not saying I'm not going full conspiracy theory, but I'm definitely saying you have some you have evidence to support your case. And next up, we had a TBS Open Challenge match: Jade Cargill versus AQA. I like this match. Jade looked great. She is getting better and better each week.
I've seen Katie Arquette wrestle and be like, hey, I know that person.
Okay, that's the next match. Serena Deeb had a 5-minute rookie challenge. Tell me who that is. I have never seen Katie Arquette before.
I think she had one match on Dark, and when she was at AIW.
Okay.
That's right. It was AQA who fought Jade Cargill. My apologies. But I don't know. She's had AEW pictures on her. It's hey, that's cool.
Okay.
And watching her fight is, again, pretty awesome. It's just unfortunate she only lasted a minute with Serena Deeb, but hey, who knows? Maybe she'll
featured on
a great push one day.
It's Serena Deeb, so there's no shame in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next up we have it's time for the main event. I also like what they're doing. I like what they're doing with Serena Deeb real quick. I feel like they're going to debut one of these release talent, and that's going to be the one to kind of put Deeb in her place or something. Like she's going to try and be cocky, and then it's like Athena, formerly known as like Ember Moon, who like just comes out and wrecks shop, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And then we have a nice program and a great way to bring Athena or Mia Yim or somebody like that into the picture.
Tony Storm.
Tony Storm would be good too.
All of the above.
When does Athena's 90-day contract expire?
I think it's good. I think we're good. I mean, I don't know logistics, but I think we're good.
If
there was too much. If they didn't bring her in for this show, I understand why. Because we're about ready to get into some of that, talking about the main event. There was a lot of shiz night going on this show. Main event, Texas Death Match, Hangman Page versus Lance Archer. This was brought up in our group chat, and I really wish Nick could have made the show this week. But does it feel like maybe this match was an afterthought compared to the Punk and... Do you feel like Hangman in the World Title's been a bit of been playing second fiddle to Punk and MJF? I thought this was a great match. I thought that it was a great match, told a great story. And put plenty of credit to Lance Archer, man. Everybody wants to... he has great matches with a lot of people, and a lot of people go like, oh, that's because it was, whoever. That was because he wrestled Will Ospreay. That's because he wrestled Naito. Or that's because he wrestled, whoever. And it's like, no, Archer's good. He's maybe not one of my all-time favorites, but dude's good and dude can go. So credit to both wrestlers in this sense. I did think there was one funny spot where Jake was going to DDT him but didn't, because even Jake knows if that DDT is not going to finish the match, he's not going to do the DDT. He's sticking to his guns that way.
Finished him.
Yeah, the DDT would have finished him, so... Jake's not going to drop the DDT if that's not the finish. So, kudos to Jake there. I like the match. I just really felt like there could have been a little bit more hype about the match. Maybe 2 pre-match promos with Archer and Hangman to kind of hype it up a little bit like they used to do. Just 1 minute each could have done the job, and we could have understood the stakes of the match, and we already know the stakes. Like, just give it that big fight atmosphere. When he was wrestling Bryan, there was a big fight atmosphere. When Kenny would have title defenses, there was an atmosphere, and this time it didn't. I get that it's a filler title defense, but when Okada had a long reign, he had plenty of filler title defenses, and they at least did something to make it seem like to build up even what was quote-unquote filler. But, I know this was a tight show, but I feel like there could have been some cuts somewhere to give a little bit of time to this match. Maybe even a special AEW Dynamite Mark Henry. It's time for the main event interview. I'd have been okay with that. But other than that, great match, and I really hope that Hangman's okay, because he took some... That shit he was doing on the stairs scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
So much blood.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta have the blood. It's a death match.
I understand that in the
were
death
you
match,
hoping that someone would actually die? Actually, although it would have been a little ironic. I know. Obviously not, because
but everybody dies. I know.
Everybody dies. Yeah, I know. So it's still like a little ironic, but this was still a great match, and just Hangman just pulling in all the obstacles. Although I still don't understand why the hell do we need Dan Lambert? He has nothing to do with this. Anyways, again, Lambert, if you're listening, which I know you're not, stick with one fucking storyline, please. I don't care if it's a stupid one with Brandy, or somehow you're being buddy-buddy with Jake the Snake, but for the love of God, just go away, please. You're giving me Baron Corbin go away heat here.
I think Lambert AEW needs the
No, don't get me wrong. Lambert is great as a manager for man of the year.
I do, again, kind of going back to my.
If they're not involved with this, then why be involved to begin with?
It's a cold day in hell because I'm 100% with Easy. I feel like they're like, I don't get why Dan Lambert just turned.
He's more famous than Lambert's here. Like,
I think that they were probably concerned that Jake wasn't going to be able to be on TV. Like, Jake's had issue, especially
that doesn't really need anybody to stand by him.
He doesn't, but he was a good guy the last time we saw him on TV.
And then he just inexplicably turned bad.
Reason to food.
I get that, but I just wish there would have been like a reason.
Lambert doesn't need to be around Lance Archer unless he's trying to recruit him for American top teams, which God no.
I just wish there would have been more of an explanation. Again, something I don't like when WWE does it. Hey, we're just bad now, and we don't owe you no explanation. Like, again, it's like it's not like that AEW is awful, but for a promotion that does so well at not doing these little things that WWE used to insult the fans' intelligence, when AEW falls back on that, you're just like, hey, what the fuck? You know, if you're the greatest, you know, if you're the best pitcher in baseball and you give up, 3 home runs, even if you still win the game and you give up 3 home runs, you're like, yo, dude, what the shit? That's kind of how I'm feeling about that.
Yeah.
And it's not something that can't be recovered from. It doesn't mean that AEW is any less of a promotion that I enjoy. I still think they're the best promotion in the world right now.
Professional wise, we are, because we're not in the sports entertainment business.
That's debatable. That's debatable, but I see what you're saying.
But then the ending got us very intrigued with a certain baby walking out
and he looked like a baby holding that belt. He looked like a small little guy.
Oh, yeah, when he was holding the belt, I was like, holy crap, that thing is humongous.
Yeah.
But him putting it on Adam Page is like, oh, what do we have here? Because their paths never crossed while they were on Bullet Club, were they? I don't recall.
Hangman was recruited by Adam Cole to join Bullet Club.
Oh.
In Ring of Honor, so.
Fine then. So.
And I do feel like we skipped over this part, but but I will give AEW credit for this. They did, at least whenever they had a Young Bucks and Adam Cole segment, at least with the fact that they brought Jay White in, it wasn't just like, oh, gee golly, here's our friend Jay White. Like, the Bucks actually like, yo, him and Kenny don't like one another, right? Like, why would you bring him in? So,
Bullet Club Civil War Part 3? I don't know. I kind of consider Part 1 Cody, Kenny, and then Part 2 Bucks and GOD.
Well, this Part 3 is going to be about like...
Part 2.5.
If this is Part 3, it's going to be about like Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3, because like it's been done to death. I feel like I'll give it...
Does this mean Jay White's going to do some emo dancing?
That's about what Jay White does all the time as it is do emo dancing. But I do respect the fact that they brought that up and didn't just go like, "Oh, hey, we're pals now."
Yeah.
So I will give. But again, don't do that and then in the main event, just have the guy that beat up Dan Lambert on his debut now is his best buddy. Don't do that.
I mean, at least I am gonna kind of call this, be like Adam Cole just secretly building up, and then he'll turn his back on the Elite, be like, you don't think I forgot what you did?
Oh, I think that's
Ring of Honor. Like, it's gonna happen.
I do feel like I feel
Kenny
like
versus Team Adam Cole.
I feel like just with I'd rather just see Cole and Red Dragon versus Kenny and the Bucks. But yeah, like that's where it has to go. But I feel like that's the feud I want to see is just 3-on-3. You know, maybe
you
if
don't want to do 4-on-4, you put Adam Page on Team Kenny and Jay White on Team Adam Cole.
I wouldn't want to bring in Jay White. I'd rather bring in Roddy if his contract goes up. I'd rather bring in Strong. I honestly rather would. Because then you have full. Maybe he did, but if he didn't, I'd rather bring him in because then you straight up have Undisputed Era versus the Elite, which is what we want, not the Elite versus Undisputed Era and hanger on Jay White.
Well, I mean, on a technicality, we do have the original trio of the Undisputed Era.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I'm saying I'd rather have those three versus the original,
okay.
the original Undisputed Era 3 versus the original Elite 3. That's what I want to see. But yeah, that is pretty much it. CJ, any NWA news to talk about?
Yeah, sure, we can talk about it. I won't go into like the detail that we do for the AEW. We did see a NWA title defense on YouTube this week. Trevor Murdoch versus Mike Knox, which is a pretty good match. So if you haven't caught it, go.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
It is on YouTube for freezies.
Yep.
We see
like
Kiera Hogan for freezies.
Yeah, like I want a freezy for the summertime.
Well, this is one for the win.
You can go outside and be a freezy.
And then you can watch this freezy. You can be a freezy easy watching this freezy match outside with Trevor Murdoch and Mike Knox.
And that's on NWA Power. That's the longer of the two shows. They're working on their NWA light heavyweight title. They're doing tournaments for that, which features Austin Aries back, and in the NWA, he is moving forward.
He is not vaccinated, I can tell you that much.
Has nothing to do with his ability as a wrestler.
No. He
just gonna go for that. We have a reunion of the British Invasion, which is pretty exciting. We
love Doug Williams.
We also got Raven on commentary on NWA USA today, and wow is all I'm gonna say. If the title match doesn't draw you into watching the NWA this week, just go watch it for Raven's commentary, because there's some sticky situations where Raven opens his mouth and says something that's probably just a little inappropriate for the NWA commentary team, and he really catches his co-commentators off guard in an odd way, and they're not good at covering their tracks. They're not super professional about it. So it gets a little dicey, but we also have Tim Storm on commentary for a while, and he saves everything all the time. Tim Storm is fantastic. Right
there,
Tim
Tim
really
Storm.
Good episodes. Solid wrestling. Progressions of storylines. We're seeing a lot of new second and third generation superstars coming in through the NWA, including Ricky Morton's son, who's really progressing well. So if you want to see the future right now, you should be watching the NWA.
The future meets the past on the NWA, and yes. And if the NWA is in your area, go, because it's a fun show. And
they will be in Nashville, Tennessee for the Crockett Cup. So if you like tag team wrestling...
Have they announced all the teams for the Crockett Cup yet?
I think so.
Damn, because the aforementioned FTR would be really good in that tournament.
Well, some people that we've talked about tonight,
I know the Briscoes
are going to be in that tournament.
I know the Briscoes are in it, but
yeah, the Briscoes are in it. Several other NWA teams and other outside teams will also be in it. I don't know for a fact that they've announced everyone, but I know they haven't announced FTR. But that would be perfect for them. Yeah, they're going to be there. They're going to be back in Knoxville as well for Hard Times too. So they're really kicking it back up.
Yep. And I'm glad to see it. I said, like, I like the NWA, but they need something. because I felt like they really did not capitalize on the momentum of the Chase shows, but they seem to be turning a corner, and I'm here for it. And yeah, that is the show this week. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you enjoyed, please like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of pro wrestling, but from the world of comic books, gaming, anime, all things geek culture. Check out the other videos this week. Check out Collection Comic of the Week. And unfortunately, we could not do our Royal Rumble weekend recap with our friend Caleb from the Four Sides podcast. Check him out as well. Feeling a little under the weather in some areas, so he couldn't make it. But that will be a part of the Wednesday Geeking Out podcast. No, thoughts on the show will be a little bit delayed, but there was a whole experience, even as Mama Mid as that show was, there was a lot of fun things that occurred that day. So definitely give that a listen. And listen this week as CJ and I watch for the very first time WCW Super Brawl 3. We have part 1 of that watch along. Part 2 is coming out next Wednesday. And yeah. Find me on my social media pages, facebook.com/athleticgeek9, Twitter, athletic_geek9, Instagram, athleticgeek9. If you'd like to help this channel out financially, patreon.com/athleticgeek9. EZ, what is your social media?
You can find me at the social media at Eric Zarins, ErikZarins. And if you're going to Indianapolis on Memorial Day weekend, you know exactly what's going to go down. The Indy 500, I'm going to be there. As for any upcoming wrestling shows that I would try to travel to, because I made sure my Wednesdays and Thursdays were off, unfortunately is a big no right now. But I am kind of eyeing at All Elite Wrestling in Boston on April the 6th. And at the same time, they have a Red Sox game happening before the show. It's a shame. I mean, baseball is baseball to me. I like it. That just does depend on the stupid strike going on. But anyways.
Is it a strike or a lockout? I thought it was a lockout.
I'm still searching for some awesome sponsors. And, well, do you guys like Jay White?
No.
Well, you're going to love this. Some Jay White Switchblade steak knives. Unfortunately, just like how Tony Khan booked it at the very last second, I tried to book it at the very last second before we went on the air, and Jay White said no.
Thank God I didn't want to work with him anyway. You know what? You know what? You know what needs to happen? They need to change his character where he just tells on everybody and they call him the Snitchblade. You know, he just runs up there and he's all like,
"Careful, you're giving WWE ideas."
Cool. They can sign him and make him this character. I don't give a fuck. And they just go up there like, hey, shut bro. Hey,
he'll be like the repo man. He'll just like take your stuff.
No, he's just gonna tell on you like, hey, Vince McMahon's gonna interfere in your match. Like, oh, thanks. Damn it, Snitchblade. He's the Snitchblade. CJ, you got social media?
Oh, dear Jesus. At CJ, Team All Zero.
All right.
Cero miedo?
No, just 0.
All right, well, for CJ and EZ, I am the Athletic Geek. We are just Marks, and we're out. Have a good one.
Good night.
Good night. Sleep tight. All right.